Sanibonani, sanibonani. Hello. 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 Eche. My name is Josiah Dos Mulele. Josiah is Hebrew, Dos is Portuguese, Mulele Setswana, and I'm Peli and Musara at the same time. So I'm here for everybody. Yeah, because they say the Bushman or the Khoisan, let Al Khadala. Yeah, so I am representing you at home, representing the whole world. Without any further ado, of much ado about nothing, I have someone so special in the studio, guys. You'll get to know her very soon. She is amazing. I'm not going to introduce her. She's got to say what is her name and what is the origin of her name, and she'll tell that to the camera. Over to you.
My name is Palesa. It's Setswana for flower. Yes.
And that deserves a... Well, Palesa Makhalema.
Yes.
You know, Makhalema ki ini.
It's a closer.
Yeah,
it's my mom's surname.
All right.
Yeah, I get my closer.
Makhosa.
Yes.
And then it's a Setswana sona.
Who's Tswana.
Yeah.
So she got married into a Xhosa family.
Oh.
So I'm not using my dad's surname.
Right.
Yeah.
So Xhosa wa Motswana.
Yes.
Oh, beautiful. And the two Xhosa and the Tswanas, they always fought for the Khoisan heritage.
Yes.
You know what I mean? The Taka, or you know what I mean? Welcome to GAPTV.
Thank you so much.
Wow, we're so excited.
I'm
We're so excited to have you. And so you just told us the origin of your name and but basically which land you're from, right? My next question to you, before I ask the usual question, is
So I am a performer.
Right.
I always say I'm a prophet of the truth.
Prophet of the truth.
Yes, I'm an actor. I reflect. I show the world what they're doing, what they can't see.
Right.
So I'm an actor, I'm a singer, I'm a dancer.
Wow.
I'm a writer.
Sure.
I'm a teacher.
Wow.
I'm a Sunday school teacher.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I do. And I do digital marketing and content producing.
Listen to that. Not only is she a triple threat, she's an artstrepreneur, because that's the term I've coined in terms of somebody who's in the business of the arts, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you're an artstrepreneur,
Yeah.
right? And you're an educator, because talking to those kids, we pass on the information through storytelling.
Yes.
That's been our trade in Africa,
Yes.
right? So that deserves another, before we got into the things, right? Palesa,
Yes, sir.
the famous question, how do we know each other? Naloena.
You were my lecturer back
Yeah.
at the Tshwane University of Technology. Josiah's darling.
Yeah.
Those were the best days of my
Oh,
life.
man.
Best years of my life.
Awesome.
Because I didn't know who I was.
Right.
And then I met an educator who knew who he was.
Right,
And
right.
taught me
Right.
how to define myself.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So yeah, that's how
That's
I
beautiful. And take me back to before you came to Tshwane University of Technology. What happened? I mean, how did you know about the arts? Did you really know about it?
Oh
And
my gosh.
Your vision to be this amazing star, or you just, bumped into this institution?
I always say the arts chose me.
Beautiful.
I wanted to be either a lawyer or do public relations.
Right.
So I went to the Valtech. I wanted to be a public relations student.
Right.
They were looking for 100 people. I was number 101. Then I went to UJ for public relations as well. I wrote
Right.
an aptitude test and I got 48%.
Right.
So I wasn't accepted. And then a cousin of mine, Matiriso Lepile, went to the Tshwane North College to look for school.
Right.
And she's like, you're into the arts, Musi.
Yeah.
Let's go to the arts department.
Right. Right.
Then we walked down to the arts department,
Yeah.
arts campus.
Right.
We walked down and then I saw this place. I'm like, what's going on? I went there.
Crazy people there.
I was so shocked. I'm like, people live like this. Then I went there.
Yeah.
I got invited to audition for drama.
Right.
I auditioned for drama and the drama department didn't accept me and told me to go to the musical theatre department.
Wow.
I went there, I met Professor Makhalema.
Oh, yeah.
I went into
he was the HOD at the time. Yes.
I went into his office. I was like,
Right.
hi, sir, I'm looking for school.
Right.
I want to just be in school. And he sat there and he looked at me for a while. And then he just gave me papers, like these documents, and said, come back on Monday. There's an audition for the musical theatre department.
Sure.
And he told me, learn a song, acting piece, a monologue, and then come back on Monday. What? I did not know what was going on because I saw that I had to come with a backtrack. I'm like, backtrack again? What am I supposed to do? What's a backtrack? Then my cousin found a guy who put together a backtrack for me for Dream Girls.
Right.
My mom bought me a DVD, Dream Girls.
Wow.
Bought me a Dream Girls DVD, so I learned one of the songs there. And then I auditioned for musical theatre.
Wow.
They were looking for a certain number. Mm-hmm. We went to dance. We were dancing. I did not know what was happening.
Sure.
Because there was Sydney Agnew.
Yeah,
who was
Sydney
doing jazz.
Yeah.
I was standing in front. I was this plumpy girl from the township who did not know what she was doing. But the confidence was there. Yeah. And then we got called to sing. Yeah. When I was supposed to sing, the radio did not play.
Wow. After all of that?
After all of that, then I sang in Alimodisa. I'm a church girl. So I did what I knew.
When in doubt, right? Go to church.
Go to church. Stick to what you know.
Absolutely.
And then they were like, they cut down the number and said, we are having monologues. Now we want acting. Right. Then I have been writing this monologue because I want to be in a movie with Denzel Washington and Vusi Kunene. Wow. I didn't even know. Wow. Yeah. So I said that monologue. Sure. Nkutu Malebe was there.
Wow. Yay. Nkutu Malebe, yes.
So they were like, okay, please stay. We want to interview you. Yeah. Then I stayed. Yeah. They interviewed me. So I love The Lion King. Sure. And I used to watch when they staged The Lion King in South Africa. Yeah. I used to watch the entire process. And Tulu Monedi. Yes. She was Nala at the time.
Nala, absolutely.
And I knew that she studied musical theatre at TUT.
Correct.
I don't know how did I know that. Yeah. And Tepo Maseko as well studied drama at
TUT. Correct, yeah.
And then I told them that I want to be like Tulu. I want to be like Tepo. Wow. And I think this is the right place. I didn't even know that place existed. But when something is meant to be, you will get pockets of information that will, when the time comes, it will help you get to where you need to be.
That's so powerful. It reminds me of what Martin Luther King Jr. says. There's nothing as powerful as when the time of that time is arrived. You know, because when that time is arrived, nothing can stop it. Yeah. I want to latch on that because what you're telling me now, and this is what, 2012, right?
Yes.
I mean, I struggled. At our era, I knew that as a black child, you would not know about this information. But obviously 2011, right? So it means that some information had not infiltrated to certain parts of the world for people to know that you can actually study this. Right. In our era, definitely I bumped into this. I didn't know what I was going to study. My parents wanted me to be a teacher or I don't know. They just said, go and find out. I just walked around and I was like, I don't know what I want to be. And then there was an audition and I was like, what is that? Right. And they said monologue. It's poem. No poems. I don't know monologues. Right. But then it was that day, the same day, believe it or not. That was the last day. But I stumbled into it and you telling me that, so that tells me there's somebody out there probably who doesn't know that you can actually study for this. Tell them, maybe into camera, what the arts are all about. Now, let me just phrase it this way. What did you learn from it and what they can learn from your experience as an artist? Yeah.
Sure. So being an artist, it's about knowing why you're here. because whatever it is that you absorb is going to help you shape the world. And in order for you to know how to shape the world, you need to know how to do it based on the information that you have on self. Because you could never shape the world if you don't know who you are. Because if you're trying to teach somebody else, but you don't know who you are, you could never give. Because firstly, you don't know what you're doing, what you're giving, where it comes from. You don't know where it comes from.
How did you start to know you during this process? What are some of the things that you did that maybe you can share with the viewers?
I am very fortunate to come from a church that teaches you that seek ye first the kingdom of God.
Right.
And coming from a church that teaches you that greater is he that is within.
Yes.
So, and I was brought up by my great-grandmother who was born in 1927.
Right. She's been around.
Yes. Yeah. She's been around. And she always said, be true to the spirit, man. Palesa, you're not flesh, you're spirit. So that's how I knew who I was, because I never wanted to be like anybody. I wanted to be like who the spirit says I am. So I've always been intuitive. I've always been connected to myself because of my great-grandmother. So my great-grandmother taught me how to be spirit. My mom taught me how to be my mind. My mom is very smart. So she taught me how to use my mind.
Beautiful.
And my grandmother taught me how to be human and how to live in the world and how to step into the world. So I've always been able to connect to myself in that way. So when I got to varsity, or I started understanding that I'm an artist, I knew that, okay, this is for my spirit, this is for my mind, and this is for my flesh.
So basically what you're saying is that mom, IQ, grandmother, EQ, emotional quotient.
Yes.
So in the modern psychological terms, right?
Yes. Yes.
Right.
So with knowing what's for you and knowing how to connect to all of those things, you need to know who you are first and know where those things are supposed to be. That's when you'll get into a room and know that, okay, I'm supposed to connect to these people. Got EQ, or I'm supposed to connect to these people, got IQ.
Absolutely.
So when you know thyself, when you know that greater is he that is within, when you know the person that is within, you know what you're giving to the world. You know that being an artist is about, okay, this type of work that I'm doing, I'm supposed to shape the mind of the people. Okay, this type of work I'm doing, I'm meant to build the emotions of the people.
I want to let you on that because, yes, that's good. So, but you're talking, let's say, to somebody who says, I ain't got no gogo like that, or a mom like that, right? What will the arts do for me in terms of identifying self? Or are there skills given that can help on, to be confident or, to be self-aware? Are those kinds of things there in the arts?
Yes, there are. What a good question. I don't even know where to start. There's so many things happening in the world. And we do things based on what people say. Based on what the world says is right. The art teaches you what is right for you.
Sure.
And you need to heed the call.
If
something is for you, there's no resistance. So the art teaches you what to take and what to leave behind. Because if you take what is not yours, you will lose yourself. And in building your confidence with the arts, you need to really understand, because it's something that I struggle with building confidence. You need to trust your voice. You need to trust everything that you say. I stand for this. You need to be strong in I stand for this. You need to be strong in that, in what you believe in.
Love that.
I think that's where you know yourself as a human being, because I believe as human beings we come into this world full.
Yeah.
We just come here to learn how to be and how to live.
Sure.
And how to maneuver around other human beings.
Sure.
The art teaches you how to be strong and how to say, I am who I am and I'm here.
I love that because, I know a lot of people, because we do this body of work with corporates, and a lot of people say, but how do we get our employees to really be in touch with their EQ? And we tell them the arts can do that, because some of the exercises, as you remember, will be to self, some exercises me and the other, if you're not a person that works with people, right? So now the arts forces you now to say, you've got to learn to work, because then in a dialogue, like we're having a dialogue now, it's a give and take, right?
Oh, yeah.
So we force people to go into that realm. And I think there's something that artists, we really look down upon. We forget that actually can use this in any industry.
Yes.
A lot of guys who are managers today, they lack what we have, right? Because we are being channeled with all of these things. I'm grateful for that. So I want to know, do you regret studying this thing called drama or musical theater?
Oh, no, never. I feel like a superhuman.
Right.
Because after studying, I got my first job at the theater. I did Shrek Junior the musical, which was 2015 in May. And I could put everything that I studied, I could exercise it and put it on stage.
Wow.
And then afterwards, after a couple of, I think 2 years, I left the theater.
Right.
And I became a receptionist for my uncle who's a psychologist and has a practice.
Right.
So it taught me how to interact with other human beings. Then I went to work for Tula Cindy and I was a stylist.
Yeah.
And it taught me, because I studied the arts, I know communication. I know how to pay attention to detail.
Right.
I know how to read a room.
Right.
I know how to give and take.
Yeah.
The problem with people who are in corporate, they speak and want to.
Yeah.
They don't listen.
Yeah. And listening is a skill. Absolutely. Yeah.
If you're on stage and somebody says their line and you don't listen to what they're saying because you have to react, because acting is.
Yeah.
Reaction. Yes. And if you don't listen, you won't react, you will just act.
Wow.
You will just say your lines.
Yeah.
So working after varsity and working in corporate and working in fashion and working with a designer like Tula Cindy.
Sure.
I don't regret studying musical theater because I learned my posture where I could stand in the store and welcome anybody who could come into the store.
Wow.
And it was an act of its own.
Yeah.
On its own.
Sure.
I could dress like Terry Peto. I dressed her at some point. And Tula could leave the country and say, you'll find Palesa at the store. I knew, okay, now this is my new role.
Come on.
I need to do what I have to do. I can't let Tula down because he trusts me. So I learned that, okay, now I'm the lead. Or I'm a supporting character. So
I love that.
It teaches you confidence. So you can really survive anywhere.
Right.
A friend of mine, Juliet, is working in the engineering sector now.
Wow, Juliet.
Yes, Juliet Morele. She's working in the engineering sector.
Oh, my word. Yeah.
She always says, I'm so happy I studied musical theater.
Yeah.
Because I can step in any room and just be.
And I think that is something that I always say to the first years, right? Not everyone is going to end up on that stage or behind the camera, right? But some of you will be in a corporate office. That doesn't mean you have, wasted time, because that skill that you have in that corporate office, baby, you're going to be happening, right? And exactly, Juliet, we want to have you on this. Juliet, I hope you're listening to this because you're next on here.
Come on.
Let's just go back just for nostalgia's sake. Me and you, we met, go TUT, right?
Yes.
And we did a show together.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe you want to tell the people about that show.
Oh my gosh. Firstly, I want to say that was a dream come true.
Oh, wow.
That was a dream come true. We did Sarafina in black and white.
Come on, Sarafina in black and white. This deserves a...
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Oh man.
Because I played 2 characters.
Yes.
When we were at Breitenbach, I was a police.
Yes.
And then when we went to the Soweto Theatre, I played Teaspoon.
Oh yes. So
I played, and I was always on stage.
A girl of many talents.
Because I made sure when I'm playing the police or when I'm playing Teaspoon, I must be a school child as well. So I was doing 2 trackings at once. So I didn't want to be off that stage.
Wow.
We met Babung Bongeni and the previous cast members. That was...
How was that experience though? Tell me more about it.
Oh, wow. Because the first time we did just a segment of it was during Believe in the Magic.
Yes. With Nkoto Malebe. Yes, correct.
We just did our, I think we did Our Father.
Yes.
So just that, firstly, just that.
Right, yeah.
I was like, where am I? Am I still living on this earth?
Wow.
And then we did it, Breitenbach, and then Soweto Theatre.
Come on.
That, for me, showed me that I'm in the right place.
Wow, man.
That destiny put me here to come and tell a story that is still told today and is still so relevant.
Wow.
I remember there was one guy who came to watch. He was an American. He had one of our, what do you call these? The books that program.
The program, yes.
He stopped the bus and he got onto the bus and asked for all the cast members' autograph.
Yeah.
And he said, this will be worth something one day.
Wow. You see?
He said, this will be worth something one day. And he got into that bus. Everyone, even the band members, he got in and we all signed that program for that guy. He's in America. He's from America and he came to watch. That proved to me that our stories need to be told. And our stories are important. And we are important.
Yeah.
We are important and we must believe in who we are and where we come from.
Sure. You know, you're going to make me teary-eyed now because it just takes me back in time, and it really was one of those amazing moments. And I think she's not doing justice to what she did. She was an amazing performer. And we used to laugh at how you sounded with your R's, because you say, and that became such a signature in the show because people were just laughing at how she was saying her R's. She's a girl from the valley, so their R's are the R's, you know. But that became such a beautiful moment, right? And her being able to play the other role, and I was like, this girl, right? Multi-talented, right? And you are where you are today because of, it's in you, man. It's in you. I can't say much about, but that experience of Sarafina. Oh, and I want to say this because when you talked about the American archiving our work, it's exactly the challenge that we normally do. We don't archive our work, right? So it's this thing and then it moves on, right? He's archived the work. Later on, you know, when you hit the bigger stages, it'll be like, I know her. This is where she signed, and that book becomes very expensive.
Yes.
Right? So I think to you listening, you've got to archive your work because you just never know where you'll be in 20 years' time. Without any further ado, because I'm looking at that time, listen, tell me, you said you don't regret studying the arts, right? At all, right? What do you think is important for people to come and study the arts? Can people just carry on, you know? Because there's a culture now where people say, I can be whoever because so-and-so just moved. They've got numbers on social media. All of a sudden, boom. What do you say to that kind of a thing? What are your thoughts?
Firstly, I feel it's disrespectful to the craft. It's very disrespectful because the art teaches you discipline.
Yeah.
We must like artists need to study.
Yeah.
Our industry needs to be regulated because we are doing very important work.
Sure.
Right now there are wars, and I think people are not self-aware.
Yeah.
They're not aware of what they're doing or the implications that their actions have on people. Sure. And as artists, we dig deep within ourselves.
Right.
You literally switch off and you put on another human being, like another spirit, and you reflect and you show the world what is happening to help them understand who and what they are and what their actions do to other people.
Sure.
So artists need to study. Like people, if you feel I want to do this, you need to study it so you can respect it. When you study the art, you respect it.
Yes.
You respect your rehearsal process.
Sure.
You respect the process.
Sure.
Because most people who come into the industry don't respect the process of going to rehearsals.
Right.
Don't respect the process of a technical rehearsals where you work with other people. You work with the lighting guy, the sound guy. You don't learn how to respect everybody who puts on the show. You get in, you don't greet the lady who makes the tea because that person is also important.
Part of the ensemble.
Yeah. So when you study the art, you respect everything that makes the production come together.
Beautiful.
The costume lady, because they are helping you further the story. The director. Wow. So studying the art is about learning how to respect the craft. For me, I don't want to get in and be philosophical. It's about respecting the craft.
Oh. You know, I don't know what to say anymore because we see that we have passed down the baton and look at what the future looks like, right? What are you pledging for the industry with the current challenges that we have? What do you pledge as Palesa Makhalema?
I am here to serve.
Yeah.
I am here to serve. I am a servant. I'm a prophet of the truth.
Yeah, I love that.
I want to tell stories that will build this world that we live in. And stories that will reflect on the things that will help us heal.
Sure.
Or the trauma that we have as human beings.
Sure.
I want to tell stories that are going to help human beings see themselves.
Right.
As the people that God has created them to be.
Wow.
Because we never really see ourselves for who we were created to be because we always see ourselves based on what's happening in the world or what they say we should be. But who are you? Why are you here? So I want to tell stories that reflect or show our purpose.
Wow.
So I'm here to serve.
And I know she's here to serve because I was eavesdropping before the broadcast. She was talking to someone and someone wanted a shoulder to cry on and it was her, right? They chose her, right? So it's very, very important, right? To know and acknowledge that you've got that in you. So it's not just something you're saying with your mouth. You are really pledging something that you live. Yeah. One last question, right? I want to know now, what are your adventures that lie ahead?
I feel like I'm in a full circle moment right now. I'm doing Shrek the Musical.
Oh, yeah.
Junior,
yeah.
So one of my greatest, pledges. My greatest English yataba.
Adventures. Yeah.
One thing I love is children.
Right.
I love children. I grew up in a place where children were overlooked.
Right.
A child's voice there's no voice.
Right. Yeah.
So the first job I did when I got into the industry was children's
theater. Yes.
And after I left the industry, the entertainment industry, I came back and I did a show called Innocence Lost. It spoke about human trafficking. So I was playing a little girl who was human trafficked, but I managed to escape, and we won an A Lady for that.
Wow, yes, so, I remember that. Yeah.
So my greatest mission in life is to teach children how to love themselves and to believe in themselves.
Wow.
That's my greatest mission in life.
Wow.
My adventure right now, I'm doing Shrek the Musical, Junior. The first show I did in 2015, I'm doing it again.
Wow.
This year, so
back to the scene of the crime.
Back to the scene of the crime. I'm working with Acetage.
Wow.
So I'm writing children's stories. I'm going to early childhood development centers.
Sure.
And performing, reading stories. So that's what I'm doing at the moment.
That's beautiful.
Before I start with rehearsals.
Right.
I was doing a show called Four Cups.
Yes.
A story about women and their experiences. It's a montage, it's monologues.
Wow.
So we were telling stories about women and their experiences.
Sure.
So I'm telling...
That is so relevant. Yeah, so relevant.
That show is a must-see. It was beautifully written.
It's got to come back, please. Bring it back. Bring those 4 cups back.
Yeah, Leah Sieku really wrote a really amazing show there.
Wow.
Really,
beautiful.
Really amazing shows.
And one last thing, what message do you have to yourself 10 years from now?
Yo! You said you'd do it?
Yeah.
Now you did.
Wow. That is beautiful. You said you'd do it, now you did it. This is so beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Palesa Makhalema, Tswana Xhosa girl, who has been with us and talking to us fantastically. And thank you so much for really honoring us today. I know we have to rush because you're such a busy girl. Thank you so much for opening up on GAPTV, and may the Lord open up everything.
Thank you so
Everything that you said you're going to do is going to happen from our lips to God's ears.
Amen.
Yes, it's all done. Give it up for Palesa